Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
DPSCD pulls the plug on in-person learning. The state's largest school district makes the big decision to go all remote as coronavirus cases spike across the board.
Governor Whitmer is not mincing words.
We are in the worst part of this pandemic to date. This is the moment that medical experts have been warning us about and dreading since the beginning of this pandemic.
Her dire warning issued just a short time ago as the leaders of Michigan's largest healthcare systems share another major worry, and it doesn't have to do with PPE or ventilators.
We'll begin at 5 with a startling increase in daily new coronavirus cases, 6,940 over the past 24 hours. That is more than 900 cases, an increase of more than 900 cases than we saw yesterday. The number of new deaths also sadly up from yesterday. 45 more Michiganders have now lost their lives to COVID over this past day. And at a briefing late this afternoon, the governor made it clear the numbers are headed in the wrong direction and quickly, and the time for us to take action is now.
She stopped just short of issuing any new restrictions. Our Mara McDonald joins us live. Mara, the governor says only the people in your household should be at your table for Thanksgiving.
She really addressed that off the top, Kimberly, because Thanksgiving is, upon us in like 2 weeks. And she said this: Thanksgiving not just should look different this year, it has to look different this year. And what that means is that if this person does not live in your home with you right now, they should not be allowed in your home for Thanksgiving. Let me take you through the rest of it.
Our case numbers are skyrocketing here in Michigan. The curve that we had flattened, right now, this curve is a straight line and it is straight up.
But the governor stopped short of instituting any further restrictions and no mention of lockdown. When asked about why not announce a lockdown today, here was the answer.
I am recognizing that we have got work to do to make sure that the actions we take are really aimed at bringing the spread down.
I know people are tired of living like this, but we really have to double down. This pandemic will eventually end, and we have to do what it takes to avoid as many infections and deaths as possible.
She also had harsh words for the legislature. Michigan already has a mask mandate in place through the health department, but the governor believes having the legislature pass a mask mandate would send a stronger bipartisan message.
I have been asking members of the legislature for some thoughtful partnership here to bring our numbers down. I would encourage you as members of the press to ask if they've got some plans to bring, because I've been asking, and the one great tool that we know makes a difference in terms of a mask mandate, they have taken off the table.
Back here live, one of the other things the governor hit on this afternoon was this: just because you can do something really doesn't mean that you should. And she was using that in reference to shopping trips. For example, choose a designated shopping person in your house and have that person be the one who does all the marketing trips, etc. It's really clear from the comments today that the state is very worried about these cases. They're very worried about community spread. And Devin, Kimberly, I would not be surprised if we saw further restrictions, and soon. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
Other states are already doing it. All right, yeah. Mara, and from the governor, we now turn to the CEOs of Michigan's major health systems joining forces today to deliver an important message.
They all say if things don't change quickly, then they face an extremely difficult road ahead. Victor Williams following that part of the story. Victor, they say, all of them say the hospitals are filling up and they're equipped to handle it, but for now.
Yes, Devin and Kimberly, that's exactly what they're saying, and they're hoping that we can all do our part in slowing down the spread so we can hopefully get that number down.
In the last 14 days, our COVID admissions have risen by 128%.
We do about 4,000 tests a day, and it's about 15% positivity rate. Just 2 months ago, in September, it was at 3%.
Medical leaders from all over Michigan hospitals came together to make a joint plea to the public.
Our hospitals are rapidly filling with COVID patients at a very alarming rate. If this continues in the coming weeks, we will surpass our all-time record high in terms of COVID inpatient hospitalization numbers here in the state of Michigan.
Facilities are starting to fill up with COVID-19 patients as the number of cases starts to skyrocket all across Michigan.
We clearly do not want to be in a position where we have to shut down elective procedures or non-emergent activities going on in our hospitals.
To avoid that, these leaders are asking everyone to do their part by following the 3 major rules to slowing the spread.
Masking, social distancing, and appropriate hand hygiene. Truly, we need all Michiganders to do those big 3 activities.
And the hospitals filling up isn't even the most concerning consequence for these health systems.
So it's not necessarily an issue of lack of hospital beds, but it truly is a very concerning issue when you talk about availability of staff, particularly if frontline caregivers are testing positive themselves.
And we're also told that staff members have been just burning through PPE, so you guys can imagine how hard it must be being out there on the front lines. In the meantime, we are reporting live. Victor Williams, Local 4.
No doubt about it. All right, Victor.
Well, new at 5, Detroit Medical Center is putting new visitor restrictions in place because of the surge in coronavirus cases. 1 visitor per day will be allowed if a patient meets specific criteria, and patients who test positive for COVID-19 or have symptoms will not be allowed any visitors. You can find more information on our website. Click on Detroit.com.
Our other top story at this hour, DPSCD, Michigan's largest school district, has made the call to go all remote again.
That's right. Now all students will go back to learning from home, and it's going to stay that way through at least January 11th. Paula Tutman has been working this story for us since it broke. Paula, the district really was left with no other option.
Yeah, everything you've been talking about for the last 5 minutes is what brings this to bear. And you remember, this was a hard-fought battle just to get face-to-face and learning centers open. So let's get this straight. Tomorrow, face-to-face learning, it is done. Monday, those learning centers, they will close down, but the district is trying to at least have some services available for the families of their 49,000 students. Tomorrow is the last day of face-to-face learning for the year, and Monday, the learning centers for DPSCD closed down for parents who were dropping their children off for supervised remote learning. But the school district is still trying to provide food and tech support.
We're going to create 12 technology support hubs throughout the city at our schools to provide face-to-face technology support to parents. So if devices aren't working, if cameras can't be turned on, or parents just have questions about the apps and how to turn in assignments, they don't have to rely on our hotline, but come to one of those hubs and get direct support.
The district will also be distributing meals.
We're going to be giving breakfast and lunch on Mondays and Thursdays, 3 meals on Mondays, 4 meals on Thursdays, between 9 a.m. and 1 for all students. The schools remain open if parents need, a device, they have questions about online learning. Our schools will still be open, staff will still be there. Teachers may be going to schools to teach online because they feel more comfortable teaching in their classroom.
But for all intent and purposes, DPSCD pulls the last 10,000 of its 49,000 students out of the classroom, as well as the teachers, because in the fight to keep Detroit's most at-risk learners learning and to keep parents working, this one goes to COVID-19. Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, if you care about children, you have to care about this. It is a heavy lift to educate students who are in urban populations, particularly where there's a high level of poverty. Also, what I want to bring up is the fact that there is a slim chance that perhaps some of these learning centers can reopen before January 11th. And we're actually going to take a look at that coming up at 6. Guys, so much to impact. This is mammoth.
It really is, Paula, and these parents are left scrambling with just a few days to try to figure out what to do with their kids. And I know you talked to some parents, and we're going to have that coming up on our 6 o'clock newscast. We'll talk to you then. Paula, thank you.
As members of Congress return to Capitol Hill today, the Trump administration facing growing calls to help with the transition to President-elect Joe Biden, even though President Trump is still fighting the election results. Alice Barr is in Washington with the latest. Hi, Alice.
Devin, while party leaders are largely standing with President Trump, a growing number of Republicans are raising concerns about President-elect Biden not receiving classified intelligence briefings to prepare for the transition. On Capitol Hill, pressure is mounting for lawmakers to take a stand as President Trump is still refusing to concede to President-elect Joe Biden.
It's most unfortunate that the Republicans have decided that they will not respect the will of the people.
The election is over. It wasn't close. President Trump lost.
So far, fewer Republican senators have congratulated the president-elect than leaders of foreign countries. But there are growing cracks within the party. Prominent Republican operative Karl Rove writing in the Wall Street Journal, this election result won't be overturned. Now, GOP Senators Chuck Grassley and James Lankford say Biden should have access to classified intelligence briefings to prepare for the transition.
If that's not occurring by Friday, I will step in as well and to be able to push him to say this needs to occur.
The top Republican in the House citing Biden's own words that there's only one president at a time.
He's not president right now. Don't know if he'll be president January 20th, but whoever is, will get the information.
President Trump tweeting and retweeting a flurry of posts, including attacks on Fox News and more baseless allegations of widespread fraud. He's also telling supporters he earned 73 million votes. That's 500,000 more than NBC's vote count, and ignores the fact that Biden won more than 77 million. President-elect Biden moving forward with policy plans, naming his new chief of staff, longtime aide Ron Klain, who helped guide the Obama administration through the Ebola crisis and economic recovery. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Okay, Alice, coming up at 5:30, it was a war of words on Twitter over Michigan's election system. Our Grant Herms breaks down the exchange between President Trump and Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson.
Much more ahead here at 5:30. Andrew is in for Ben tonight. Hi, Andrew.
Hello there, Kimberly and Devin. We're looking at chilly conditions, but beautiful sunshine today. Temperatures still in the 40s. How low do they go tonight? That, your Friday, and your weekend forecast coming up.
Record unemployment, difficult financial times for so many during the time of the year when so many start spending big money. Tonight, we have expert information from a financial pro to help keep you on track.
Next at 5:15, we are all aware of the spike in COVID-19 we are seeing area-wide. One police department being hit very hard tonight. In fact, one lieutenant there tested positive today. There are prayers for him tonight.